Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, and I think we're going to finally start making some money. We got down to our last $10 in the last episode, and we're basically surviving on a half a dozen trees in the lower part of our property. But all that should change in this episode. We passed the day over into October, and the first thing we should really do is just assess how things are progressing. The mushrooms are producing, and we should get the first pallet of enoki soon. Water is also looking very good. It's barely used 10%, so that means we don't have to rent the water tanker for several more months. That's exactly what I was hoping. The silage is almost 60% fermented, so that should be ready next month in November. All we can do is just let that do its thing. The grass is 82% yield bonus, and it does say it's ready to harvest. But if we wait till next month, it'll grow more and be even better. The 82% is 15% better than it was when we bought the field. We improved it by rolling it, but it still needs lime. That's just something we can't afford though, so it'll have to wait. Here on the tractor, we have some water droplets from the rain last night, and the tires do look very washed, don't they? The water has improved in FS25. Realistically though, there's not much we can do this month. Things aren't ready, and I knew coming into these first few winter months, there might be some slow times here and there on the farm, which is probably pretty realistic. I don't at all regret though, pressing into the months of August and September and getting a lot done. Because the earlier we could get some mushrooms and new trees growing, the better off we'd be. Okay, it's November. Time for another checkup on the farm, and things should be a little busy. The silage is 94%. It'll be ready to sell here in just a few hours. So what we'll do is get this field mowed and baled. Last month, it said it was ready to harvest after 2 months of growth, so you can cut it. But if you let it grow a third month, you should get about 1/3 more grass. You can even see it gets more visually lush. It worked that way in FS22, and it seems to be the same here in FS25. So we'll get on with the cutting and make the month of November count. I was able to cut pretty effectively between the lodgepole pine grove, largely because they don't have collision this young. But when they get bigger, that may or may not work so well. We'll just have to see. What we'll do now is get our bale spike loaded on and load up the trailer with silage. We will bale the grass, but we'll get the first batch of bales ready for sale. Between the months of October and November, we're now $560 in debt from the loan payments, so income is definitely needed. The thing is, I don't know what's the best way to stack them on this small trailer. I think loading them flat might be the way. Let's see. Okay, so this trailer is a little too narrow to lay them flat. They just keep falling off each side too easy. So we'll get them on upright. And really just get them on any old way where it'll make them stay on. We're off. The price of the silage is best right now at the biogas plant, and I'm really curious to see something here. I wonder if they improved the drop-off for silage. Before, you had to knock the bales off to get them to sell. And they did. Very easy now. I very much approve. Let's get the rest of the bales loaded and sold because we have to have this money. It's more than just having money in the account. I had to halt the grass baling because we didn't have any money to rent the baler, wrapper, and roller afterwards. This silage came in just in time to keep us going, and I'm estimating it'll total up to about $8,000. enough to rent the equipment we need with a little left over. $8,400, right around what I thought. The 3650 just looks amazing. I love this tractor. With the money we just made though, we can continue our plan to rent the baler. I went with the same New Holland we had before. It was exactly what we needed. It would be good if we got another bale or two off the field now that the yield bonus is a little higher. We won't know that though unless we finish the field. So let's go. Okay, we're coming down the last bit here between the new pine trees and we're at 87%. I'm pretty sure we can pick up enough to finish off that bale around the edges and roadways. We'll mow the little extra, bale it, and hope for the best. Yes, one last bale with no problem at all. I decided to check the bale counter, and while on the ferry, it's confirmed. 14 bales. That's one more than last time. And we couldn't even pick up quite as much grass down in the pine trees. So that's very good news. All right, the baler's returned. We'll rent our wrapper and continue on with the business of getting our bales wrapped for silage. You might remember me saying this before, but the price of silage is down about 30% from what it was in FS22. It's still a good moneymaker, just not as much as before, which I'm happy about. I think most people thought silage was a bit OP in the game, so I'm glad they made an adjustment. For the wrapper, we'll need our weight. Now, this might sound odd, but I do enjoy using this wrapper. I realize it's an extra step in the process, but it's also one of the jobs that works really well in first person. There's a lot of things that are very hard in first person, so you spend a lot of time in third person in the game. For me, I find I actually have more precise control over the tractor and doing this job in first person, which is different. I can spin my head and look around. I don't know, it just feels good. All right, the wrapping was very quick. We'll get that returned and rent the roller. It'll be nice when we can buy our own equipment, but right now we just can't afford it. The roller has a decent working width to it, so this job shouldn't take that long. Okay, all done. We'll get that folded up and return to the store. Getting the field mowed, baled, and rolled was a good use of November, because we may not have much else. But look there, 3 pallets of mushrooms already. Oh yeah, I have a very good feeling about that mushroom house. After the initial purchase, it takes almost nothing to run. But also, take a look at those sun rays as we cross the river. It was one of the new features in FS25, and it does look so nice. All right, as long as we have a little money, let's spend it. Seeing those mushroom pallets reminded me that we need a pallet fork to get those moved. We'll get that bought, even though we don't have the front loader attached to bring it home. It's not a problem, we can get it later. That is the end of the jobs for November. We'll pass the day into December and assess where we are on the farm. The grass looks pitiful, not even growing. It's not going to grow at all here in December, January, or February. It's just sad to see it look so destitute. The silage is coming along. It'll be a couple more months on that. Let's check out the greenhouse. Still only 3 pallets. Now that I'm watching it, they'll never spawn. But we do have another enoki about ready to pop out, so it's doing its job. And let's check out our lodgepole pines. Still saplings, but I'm confident. Our old stumps are still here too. After we harvest all our new trees, we'll rent a stump grinder and get them all gone. It's January and we have snow. Beautiful. The mushrooms have been doing their thing and still have lots of water. The silage is almost 60% fermented, so we can sell that next month. Let's check on the mushrooms. 5 pallets, 4 enoki and 1 oyster. That's $3,000 sitting right there. And let me check. Yes, another pallet of oyster will spawn when there's room. That's $4,000. Our mushrooms are already helping us out greatly. You know, with the snow, I think we should change our clothes, or at least our hat. This is almost exactly the hat I wear in the winter, so we'll go a while with that one. So it is time now for us to get our pallet fork, so we'll get the front loader on and go fetch our purchase. We're back. Time to get our delicious mushrooms loaded and sold. I'm really pleased with the productivity of the mushroom house. It has definitely met or even exceeded my expectations. All right, our first sales at the farmer's market. Let's see what we've got. Almost 4,000. That feels so good. I mean, it's January. Nothing else is growing on the farm, but we're able to sell mushrooms. Just fantastic. And overall, I feel like money is finally starting to come in. We had a nice surge from the trees, but they're more of a one-time thing. And our future is going to be made right here off profits from the field. And I'll tell you, I've got a plan to boost that revenue significantly in the next episode. Like and subscribe so you don't miss what that's about, and I'll see you in the next one.